New season, new hopes. I'm back after a mini break, ready and raring to go. We kick a ball in earnest against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford in the 5:30 kick-off. Last time we played Crystal Palace, we lost by 2-1 at Old Trafford, which now is in the dim and distant past when fans were actually allowed in the stadiums. We lost by a Paul Pogba mistake, by the way, which Van Gaal capitalised on. On the prowl he went, he shot and it squirmed past David De Gea through his body. One of the many records that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer broke during last season. Now Crystal Palace kicked off their Premier League campaign with a 1-0 win over Southampton at Selhurst Park via Saha. The first goal of the 3 o'clock kick-offs, which in years to come will be a quiz question in pubs. So they've got their first win sewn up. The team I'm going to pick to face them: David De Gea in goal. Make no bones about it, David De Gea straight up, hands down, is still our number one goalkeeper. He's the best goalkeeper by far. Dean Henderson does not hold a candle or a torch to De Gea. De Gea is the number one goalkeeper, and he should be for the foreseeable future and forevermore. I still haven't forgiven Henderson, who made that catastrophic mistake against Liverpool. One of the many reasons why the Vermin did what they did last season. And I do bear a grudge, and I'll never ever ever forgive him for that. If I had my way, he wouldn't be at the club anymore. But unfortunately, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know what he's like. He doesn't know his arse from his elbow. But you know, people are entitled to their opinion. But like arseholes, everyone's got one. At right back, it's going to be Wan-Bissaka. Tyler Blackett reincarnated. He was absolutely shocking in the semi-final against Sevilla, one of the many reasons we lost that, by the way. The Commander-in-Chief himself, Maguire. It wouldn't surprise me if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to give Maguire the freedom of the city. He seems to love backing a criminal. If I had my way, I would have terminated his contract from the get-go. He dragged the name Manchester United through the mud. He should have left Manchester United by the scruff of his neck and by his teeth. He's tarnished the reputation of Manchester United Football Club and everything we hold dear. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does have a track record with defending certain individuals. So that's everything you need to know about him. Lindelof alongside him, who had good publicity during the summer as he stopped an old lady getting mugged. Did that get coverage in every single newspaper known to man? Of course it didn't. Because I don't want to say anything about a good luck story. They just want to defend a criminal named Maguire. His story, Maguire's story, would not look out of place on Jack and Nori, a fairy tale if you also prefer. So Lindelof alongside him. Lindelof is our second best defender behind Chris Smalling. And left back. Unfortunately, we have to play Fatty Arbuncle, Podgy Pig, Luke Shaw. It sickens me to the core that for the 6th season straight, he's going to be the left back playing for Manchester United. He can't attack and he can't defend for toffee. I am sick of the sight of that player. He knocks me physically sick. He should not be at Manchester United. We had the chance to get a better left back that would have started ahead of him, but instead Spurs beat us to the punch for Reguilon. He would have been tailor-made for that position. But once again, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not want to buy a left back. And that will count the cost. He will count the cost of that this season. If Ole gets sacked, it's on him. It's on Porky Pig, Fatty Arbuncle. His beer belly always hanging out. I'm disgusted that this cunt is still at my football club. His goals and assist record for an opposing attacking fullback is absolutely shocking. absolute drivel. Because the club are skinflints, they don't want to pay the money required to get Reguilon. And we were in for Reguilon, by the way. He was always a signing that we wanted left back, but Mourinho swooped in and got him right under our nose. Disgusting. It knocks me sick why we're not prioritising the left back. We don't need a centre back, we don't need a right winger, we need a left back. And we're not going to get one because Ole Gunnar Nobbin and the powers that be do not want to stump up the cash. That is, for me, revolting and should never happen. Midfield 3. Emmanuel Matches for me. He's the anchor man in midfield. He's the best midfielder we've got. He was one of the many reasons why we got top 3 last season. If it wasn't for him, then we would have been languishing near the foot of the table. And I hope Ollie doesn't go down the route and gives into peer pressure where Van der Beek plays ahead of Matic. Because as I said before, we will win less games with Van der Beek playing that position than with Manny Matic. If Matic starts ahead of him, we win more games. If he doesn't, we don't win any. Other side of it, the two alongside, Bruno Fernandez, he's back after the newborn that his midwife, delivered. I think he'll start. I think Paul Pogba will also start. He's had the dreaded COVID, but he's back now, fresh. He's got over it, and he will play against Crystal Palace. And Paul Pogba has to step up another gear for me. I just still don't understand why he hasn't blossomed. You can count to one hand how many good performances he's had. He's a good player, but he's not a great player. And he needs to be more consistent, because if he isn't, the questions will still be asked. And I've asked loads of questions about Paul Pogba, which begs the question, when is he going to fulfil his potential? Because so far, I haven't seen any of it. The front three. Martial scored on international duty with France. You know, he's finally bucked up his ideas and not being a sulk. And Deschamps has got him back into the French setup. So, it's good for him. Alongside that will be Rashford. And yes, I'm getting on to Greenwood in a minute. Rashford, who is splatting the Tory government. He is making the Tory government look stupid, downright stupid, day after day, moment after moment. Obviously, he wants to go feed kids, and the Tory government made one of their U-turns by giving kids school dinners. So Rashford is setting the example there. He was poor in the semi-final against Sevilla, but it was Martial who cost us that game when he missed sitter after sitter after sitter. If that was Aubameyang on the end of those, Harry Kane, Son, etc, 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 we would have went to the final. But I'm very grateful that Martial did miss those chances, because if we got to the final and won the final and got a trophy under Ole Gunnar Nobbin, then us all the outers will never hear the end of it. And alongside that is Mason Greenwood. It's funny, isn't it, doing a Nigel Farage there, how top Reds adore and worship the ground Greenwood walks on, so when he does run, he gets treated with kid gloves. If that was McTominay, difference of opinion happened. I've said this before. If Greenwood wants to be at Manchester United, he has got to learn. You're playing for Manchester United, you represent the club around the world, whether you're on the pitch or off the pitch. And if his antics carry on, he'll be at McDonald's asking the customers, can I take your order please? That is calling if his shenanigans do not be put a stop to. This will never happen under Sykes Ferguson. He ruled with an iron fist, he put his foot down from the get-go. Ollie endorses and indulges and mollycoddles that kind of behaviour from Greenwood. This never used to happen when Van Gaal was the manager. Heck, it didn't even happen under Moisey when he was the manager for that short period. Never happened under Mourinho either. But since Ollie's taken the reins, It's been disaster after disaster after disaster. And Greenwood has to pay the price for his antics. He broke social distancing rules. And top Reds think it's a laugh. I don't think it's funny, to be honest. But they're the same top Reds that want to sign Jack Grealish. Thankfully, he signed a new contract because it would sicken me if we signed him, a convicted criminal. Hopefully, he will get behind bars, but he does obviously have a trial pending. So Greenwood needs to buck his ideas up because I just don't see him being at Man United. You know, I don't think he's a great player at all. How many goals did he score against the top 6 last season? I tell you, Nero, Zada, 0. No goals against top 6. You know? So, you know, he's being punished, Greenwood, and hopefully now he simmers down, knuckle down, concentrate on your football and stop letting outside influences dictate and affect you. Top Reds may be able to defend you to the hill without criticism, but it won't work with me. Will not work with me. They can brainwash you over Greenwood, they won't brainwash me. I tell you, I don't mind being a lone voice. Greenwood, get your act together, otherwise you will be playing for Scunthorpe and your career will go the same way as Ravel Morrison. That's not an opinion, it's a fact. So, if you think it's funny, top Reds, then for me it says more about you than anybody else, doesn't it? But there you go. That's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. So I've had my rant there. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to Manchester United against Crystal Palace. I think we'll put them to the sword. You just know what's going to happen if we lose, don't you? Top Reds will be going, oh, we need Sancho and all that, so we need to win. Make sure we win. Don't let me down, United. I don't want top Reds to, you know, oh, we need Sancho. Yeah. Oh, and the subject of Sancho, by the way, he is still not coming. Yeah? Borussia Dortmund have bantered at us. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And they've done it again on their Twitter account. Sancho is staying put. And that's the end of it. I'm fed up of seeing and hearing clickbait every single fucking time. This has got to stop. They are dangling a carrot in front of our supporters' very eyes, tugging on their heartstrings, giving platitudes and false hope. They have journalists on their show saying it's not happening, and then they go, do you know what? I think it still will happen, because you are the clickbait kings. If there was a transfer stories in Women's Weekly, you would dedicate a video to it. The deadline has passed. Sancho is not going to be a Manchester United player. This is not going to be Bruno Fernandez Part 2. He'll never don the Man United shirt. The deadline has passed. When they say deadline, they mean deadline. So get that through your thick skulls. He's not moving from Borussia Dortmund, and I thought I'm glad. He was shocking against England, for England, against Iceland and Denmark. He stank the place out. He played the part of the invisible man. So if you hear anybody going, we're in for Sancho, I'm 90% confident we'll sign Sancho, do not listen to those, because they know nothing about the game of football. They don't know their arse from their elbow. So Sancho is staying put, and if you don't like it, tough. There's nothing you could do about it. And all he's getting sacked as well, and there's nothing you could do about that either.